Hey everybody, I am so happy and hyped to be here. If you don't know by now, you are at the Blaze conference and you are now in a presentation called Let's Go Viral. Now, if you open up your workbooks, you're going to see my beautiful face. You're going to see a lot of legal stuff, and that's not really important because you don't care about me really, but I will tell you a little bit. My name is Cortesia Oxford. I'm the branding architect. I love helping people brand their businesses and understand how to convert all of the traffic they're getting and to get their voice out there so that they can get amazing traffic, right? And a lot of people, no matter what their age is, they're swamped by the new updates that come, whether you should TikTok, whether you should Instagram, whether you should Facebook it, whether you should LinkedIn it. You don't know what to do. And then you get this big sweat on your shoulder and on your forehead because people are like, have you gone viral? Or you see these views with, or you see these people with tons and tons of views, right? And you're like, oh my God, they're going viral. They're getting 50 and 60,000 in views. And I'm here to tell you, you can go viral too. But do you really want to go viral? I don't want you to get swamped down with a bunch of technology. In this book, you're going to see an entire page of technology that you can use and simple ways you can understand and things of that sort. But the issue is that rather than focusing on going viral, I want you to focus on giving value and being able to do that in volume so that people are able to see it. So whether you TikTok it, whether you reel it, whether you Facebook it, LinkedIn it, your goal is to give value and to connect with your audience so that they fall in love with what you solve. So before you even think about going viral, no matter what business you are in, whether it's fashion, whether it's service-based, you have to solve a problem. You have to solve a problem. You have to feel something in the market. Even before Fenty came out, Kim Kardashian's sister had a makeup line. Rihanna did not have to come out with a makeup line, but she did, and it solved a problem that people love. They changed the range of tones. Now, Kim Kardashian's sister, Kylie, wants to start adding and implementing more of the things that Rihanna's already done. There are 7 billion people on this earth. Everybody is not going to shop with everybody. So why are you worrying your brain and your head whether 50 to a million people like your post or your business, or whether they're engaging if you aren't prepared for that process? So not only is your goal to add value, but make sure you have the process and procedures already set up. So let's say you hit 50,000 people on TikTok. Let's say you hit 1 million people on one of these platforms. You want to be prepared and have links and systems in place so that people can instantly say, okay, this is what I need. Let me click this link and go to where I want to go. So a lot of people are going to tell you, as you're focusing on going viral, put your link in bio, make sure you have a link tree and things like that, right? What's crazy is that a lot of people are going to say that because they're just looking to get out there, and there's nothing against that. If you look in your book, you'll see that when I first started with making money on my entrepreneurship journey this time, because I've done it before, but this time when I started my entrepreneurship journey, I started off with just tap link and PayPal. And it's a link in bio. I added my domain to it and I called it a day. It's thebrandingarchitect.rocks. I started off in the most simplest way. I solved a problem. I had a scheduling link and I made sure I made it available for people to be able to pay me, because that is what people want to do overall. So once you get to the page in your workbook, it'll say brand goals. So I want you to write down, what are your long-term goals for your brand? Like, what do you actually want to accomplish long-term in your brand? That's like 5 to 10 years, right? That is more like your that is your vision for your business. Your 5 to 10 years is your vision. Your short-term goals can be what your mission does. So your mission is a vehicle to achieve your overall vision. So as you're going through this process, every short-term goal. And I'll tell you this, I have been diagnosed with ADHD. So being diagnosed with ADHD, sometimes my short-term goals, I have to literally say, okay, this is the goal, right? I make sure that whatever I have to accomplish for the week, I break it down into 3 or 4 tangible things I can do each day, right? Once you write down your short-term goals for what you want to accomplish in your business via social media, then I want you to say what platform actually works best for you. Like, where are your people actually at? Where are they? Are they actually showing up? Are they actually like where are they in this process, right? Then I want you to take some time out and I want you to write down what is your process. What is your process? What does it look like? When I come in contact with you, what do you want to happen? What is your process? And usually when you come up with a process, people are like, oh, I instantly have to think about what technology I need to use. No, I just need you to write down steps, step by step by step. When I come to your page and I click on your link, then what? What content am I going to interact? Am I going through your stories first? Am I going through your bio? What do you want me to look at first? Now, once you decide what your process is going to look like, dissecting the other forms are going to be very, very easy. So as we go down and we have gone through and we define the process, then I want you to map out the mindset of what you want. What does your brand's vision board look like? I want you to go through how it looks physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. Like, how much do you want to make in order to live the life that you want to live? Then you're going to say, what is your goal for this month? What is your goal for this month? Then you're going to do things. You're going to go through and say, I'm going to try these things that I have not tried before. And with this workbook, you can actually duplicate this book every month. You can print it out and do it every month. This is my gift to you, where you can do it every month. And you'll see my phone number down there where you can text me if you are having any issues, right? So I want you to try different things. If you are an introvert and you don't like to go live, you're going to have to try it. You're going to have to try it. You never know what can happen. You never know how you can show up. You'll never know how you're going to reach your audience until you actually sit down and you try it. Do not be afraid. The worst thing you can do is live in fear. Live in fear. Like when you're sitting there and you're looking at other people. I know when I was first starting out and I was creating content, I used to look at people and I'd be like, they're doing these transitions. They're doing all of the things that I technically want to do. But I had to be honest with myself. Number one, when I see people doing these reels and they're going through and changing their clothes and doing a bunch of transitions, the first thing I think about is, oh my God, they're putting on all of these clothes. They're going to have to put them back. They're going to have to put them back. And that may seem like a first world problem, but that's something that I don't want to do. So a part of things that I want to try will probably be stepping out of my comfort zone and trying on multiple outfits as a part of my transitions, right? As a part of my transitions. This is all before you even get to the technology, y'all. And if you want to be even more clear about it, and I'll put everything is in the book where you can click on and you can watch it if you're very concerned about the technology, but you need the strategy first. Sometimes my simplest videos where I was just doing reactions or I was sitting next to somebody, those did way better than a lot of the videos I put a whole lot of effort into. So don't be so concerned about the overall, don't be so concerned about the technology or the transitions. Transitions are nice, but they are very trendy. They're very trendy. So a lot of these people are literally having to go through and create these videos every day. And it's taking hours. Like it's taking hours to go through, and they're paying somebody to do that. And they're hopping on the fact that people are looking to learn the reels. They're looking to learn TikTok. They're looking to learn these video platforms as Instagram has changed. Well, they haven't completely changed, but Instagram has said out front, hey, we are a video platform. So yes, they are favoriting videos, but there are tons of video content. So on Facebook and Instagram, you have your stories, you can go live, you have actual native posts that can be videos, and GIFs are actually considered some type of video. It's a quick little 3 to 5 second thing, but those are actually considered videos as well. When you go on Facebook, it works well with long form content. And what I have found out and tried in the most recent days is that I try out my content to my Facebook audience, right? And if it does well on my Facebook audience as far as long form content, I can usually take that and repurpose it to put it on LinkedIn, and it does very well there. I have been able to generate leads on there. So as you're going through and you're trying to go viral, I want you to first of all think about the value that you provide, the solution you solve in your market or in your industry. Then I want you to think about ways you can repurpose. Like if it's something that's doing well on one platform, yes, you have to respect the platform. There are tons of people that are just going and making TikTok videos and just instantly pulling them over to another platform. Keke Palmer does this all the time, but Keke Palmer is a famous star. She's a famous star. She's famous and known for what she knows, right? And because she's famous, she can do that because she does not care about gaining followers. She doesn't care about any of that. She just entertains. She's not going to go through the extra step. But you being who you are, you need to remove that watermark. Yes. So don't be so worried about, okay, this star is doing this or this person is doing that. Or you'll see some people that actually repurpose it. And it actually does well. I want you to work harder on focusing on yourself and tending to your own grass. Because just because the person next door got away with it, it doesn't mean that it won't mess with your overall algorithm that you have going on. Okay. So I want you to focus on that. I want you to literally sit there and focus on yourself, mind the business that pays you, and focus. So after you finish your vision board, I want you to go through the daily tracker. Now, you will use this every day. You want to go through and reply to comments. You want to monitor and respond to untagged brand mentions, anybody that mentions you. And this is what I will tell you. When I first got on Clubhouse, and Clubhouse is a social media platform as well where it does a lot of audio. I wanted to expand my reach. So when I wanted to expand my reach, what I did is I went through in my stories and I tagged a bunch of businesses that I was really liking. Some of the people I knew, some of the people I didn't, some of them shared that post to their audience, and I was able to gain followers. So right now, while you're listening to me, I want you to go through and I want you to take a picture of what's going on, and or I want you to literally say, I love these brands. And once you tag those brands in there, most of the small businesses will reshare your post to their story. Small businesses thrive off of support and mentions and things like that. So when you go through and tag them, they're sharing to their audience. And if they have a bigger audience, they're really going to be into it. Also doing responder videos really works as well. When I say responder, it's like a duet where it's like side by side. And when you do the video side by side, then you'll be able to basically embark on their audience, and people take that as an honor, and they're like, oh, okay, well, let me share this with my audience too. I've had that happen a few times, and that's grown my audience as well. We're going to talk about, did you share a new post? Choose, and with this daily tracker, you choose your level of consistency. What does consistency look like for you? Are you posting one time a day? Are you posting one time a week? What does it look like for you? Some people are going to say, okay, how am I supposed to post on all these different things? A lot of times what people do is that they'll put a post down in their overall regular posting area and then share it to their stories. The issue with that is that it's not natively sized for that. So if you use an application like Trello or Canva, then you're easily able to get in there and create and resize items. And some people are like, what is Crello? Crello is an alternative to Canva, and Crello actually allows, it's actually more inexpensive than Canva is, so you can utilize that as well. That link is also in here too. So content creation. So we already know, let's go over it again. We already know the value that we provide. We know the problem that we solve. We know where our people are at, and that basically develops our power. So when we get down, we know what our goals are. We're trying new things. We're going through our tracker, and we're going to go through and say, let's take this content and resize it for each thing. There's a resize feature on there that you can utilize. And then you want to use interactive features on different platforms to engage people. So those interactive features will be polls, questions, things like that. But every single post you make, you want to make sure that you have a call to action. Now, when you get down, when you get down to the bottom, you want to make sure what will make it easier. Like if you're a person and you know your audience is on Facebook and Instagram, what will make it easier is using the Facebook Business Suite. The Facebook Business Suite on the back end, it's not the Business Manager where you manage the ads, it's the Business Suite. The Business Suite actually allows you to program your stories ahead of time. You can program your, and you do this for Instagram and for Facebook, where you can program your stories and your posts. You cannot program reels yet on any platform, but I know it's coming probably with the metaverse. Probably with the metaverse. But don't focus so much on that. I need you to focus on adding value as a part of this going viral process, right? So as we're going to the point of going through your content, going viral, you want to make sure that you're checking your competition. I don't believe in competition. I believe that there are people out there that are doing better than me as far as social media layout is concerned. And when they're doing better than me, I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what you're doing and see if it's something that I can implement better or I can learn from you. So there's somebody out there that does something amazing, but they're not me. I have my own secret sauce. I have my own way of presenting. I have my own way of talking. So you're going to have to build up your confidence and find out what it is that you do better than anybody else, that nobody in this world can do anything on it. Like you can say anything you want about me, but I'm the realist, I'm honest, I'm holy, and I'm hood at the same time. Some people might not understand that, but I'm holy and I'm hood at the same time, and that's authentically who I am. I'm going to show up. I'm going to give you the honest to God truth, whether you like it or you love it, but I'm going to give it to you in love, because I want to be able to see you grow. So after you go through this whole process, now you're going to do this for each platform that you show up on. All right. Then I want you to look into your overall, that's the overall plan of what you're going to do, right? Now, when it comes to going through and saying, okay, what am I posting? There is a website called trends.google.com. And when you go to trends.google.com, you're able to put in what people are actually searching for online. So type in, you can do this while we're talking, trends.google.com, and type in your industry. You will see what people are looking for, what's related currently at this current time, what states it's related to, and this will actually help develop your hashtags as well. So when it comes to developing content, this is helpful. Now with the hashtags, you want to do things that are like long tail hashtags. So one of my favorite hashtags is Atlanta Web Designer. It's a long tail hashtag that actually works. I get seen very high. It has about 5,000 people in there. So when 5,000 people are looking for somebody like me, that's good. I'm a team of one. I'm okay with targeting and showing up well for those 5,000 people. What's happening is that a lot of people are sitting out here and tagging themselves in million dollar hashtags. And they're like, why am I not showing up? Why am I not attracting my ideal customer? It's because those hashtags change every 15 seconds. Some of them every 10 seconds. So when you're putting million hashtags up there, it's like dropping a pebble in a pond. So you want to make the most impact in the most direct way. So long tail hashtags can include a New York paparazzi seller, Atlanta life coach. Things like that will actually get you to show up more powerfully, and you can end up showing up and ranking higher in those areas and getting more views. So really going viral is about getting more views. If you're getting 5 to 10,000 views, you can go viral. You can go viral. And the lifespan of a lot of this content is usually like 4 to 6 weeks. So going 4 to 6 weeks, you never know what can happen. The shade room can pick it up and post it out there, and then you're viral like 6 months later. So when you go to trends.google.com, I want you to think about at least 2 topics that you want to talk about, and spend 2 weeks explaining it to people and talking to them about what you do, and how is this issue relevant. Now you'll see things, if you were watching when Simone Biles was over there in the Olympics, and she had her mental health issue, right? When she had her mental health issue, anybody that was in mental health and they were talking about, ADHD and her being on medicine, that was the optimal time to post and say things like that. That's spontaneous content that you can put out there, and that spontaneous content is very helpful because it'll help you rank like right then and there, right? But you always make sure you keep your overall topics that you're going to talk about. You can always do spontaneous interjections so it relates to popular things, but you want to make sure you maintain the overall plan that you have, and this is all a part of the strategy, right? Now again, like I told you before, this next page is about the schedule. What days are you going to post? What do you actually want to do? Like, I post 1 reel a day. Posting more than 1 reel a day, it doesn't help you. They have an algorithm that, if you post more than 1 reel a day, it actually shuts you down. I'm posting 1 reel a day, but that 1 reel then comes with a carousel. And then after that carousel, then I can post a single post, or I might post a picture of myself, or I might post something that will show a tweet. But I show different various forms of content based on the popularity. Then the next pages are basically you going through and writing out your plan. Now we want to start with the year plan. The reason why we start with the year plan is because usually it's kind of vague. And you're literally going through and you're like, I want to accomplish this for the year. Then you can go through and actually manage, okay, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. These are the sales that are going to be going on. These are the sales I want to plan for. It's lines in there to write that down. And you can go ahead and plan your sales. Now, this is going to be great because you can develop topics and campaigns based around the area. The new year is coming. So your content for the new year needs to be something you're already thinking about. What are you going to put out there to motivate people? Now, we know a lot of times during the new year, we know it's tax time. In the United States, we know everybody's worried about fitness. They're going to make those resolutions like, I'm going to be healthy and all the other stuff. And more than likely, they might not do it. They might say new year, new me. And then next week is like, new what? So we want to make sure we understand all of those as we're going through and planning out the year, what the pain points are, what the trends are, because pain points do have trends based on the year. We know February, there are going to be people that are in love. That's a trend. But then the pain point is the people that don't have nobody. If they don't have anybody, then is there a solution that you can provide to help those people that don't have anybody? Hey. And you can be very vague. Then your daily plan, now you can take this and you can duplicate it, but you want to write things down. Again, I told you I have ADHD. I'm giving myself 4 things to do. 4 things to do. Once I do those 4 things and I concentrate fully and I am a complete badass at what I do in those 4 things, guess what? I'm done for today. And people might be like, oh, you don't do more than 4 things. The issue is that we sit up here and we swamp ourselves down with so much stuff, and we don't have to. We're sitting here and we're like, I got to do all these things. Like, I literally had a whiteboard at one time. It had 35 things on there. I took my marker and I was writing so fine on there. I was like, oh, do this. And then it turns into a running list, right? So when I don't complete those 5 things, those 35 things, I go erase it, or I take a picture of it, write 35 more things. And I'm like, now we're at 70. So I was so done with being exhausted that I was like, you know what? We're going to minimize this. If something don't get completed, it must mean God was intervening to say, listen, you just don't need to get this done, or you need to delegate it to somebody else that can do it for you. So that is something that, you know, as you're going through your schedule, don't just write down for your daily schedule. Don't just write down, be real with yourself. If you ain't did it 4 months ago, what makes you think putting it on your to-do list today is going to actually work? Just be honest. And at some point, if it's like 4 months and you ain't did it, you need to go and delegate that and find somebody that can operate in their superpower and do it for you and make it happen. Okay. Now, this is just a regular daily plan where you can write these things down. I also suggest, you know, having an online scheduler where you're pulling all these things. I use Google Calendars, and all of my calendars come into Google Calendars. I have it on my phone. Notices, listen, it's all right there. So I don't have to sit here and be like, let me log into this system. Let me log into this system. No, I need to pull all of this into one place. Then I want you to plan your week out. So once you know this is what I'm doing each day, then you're planning your week out on the major things you need to accomplish. And make sure you look at what I'm saying on Friday. It says take a break and celebrate because you made it through. So listen, we have to start celebrating ourselves and our small, big, medium, intermediate wins, because if we don't, who will? All right. So I want you to take time out to do that. And I also have the other part in there with calendars. If there's anything major happening during that month, as far as sales you want to recognize, if there's a place you need to show up during that month, you want to make sure you have that laid out as well. This page is important. So every month, I want you to go through and write out your personal reflections. Like what we don't do, like a part of your business is looking at your numbers and looking at your data. You're going to look at your insights. You're going to look at what worked, what posts performed well. But sometimes you need, well, not sometimes, all the time, you need a point where you're reflecting on self and being real with yourself. One of my coaches, Andre Gaskins, he told us to quit. And I was mad. I was mad when he said quit. I was like, excuse me? What you mean quit? Quit what? This is my life now. I quit my job last December to be a full-time entrepreneur, and now you're telling me to quit. Now, before I got all up in arms, he went further. And he was like, quit those beliefs that are preventing you from going a step further in your life, that are preventing you from achieving greatness, that are preventing you from pricing yourself accordingly, right? Self-reflection. So a part of my personal reflections, monthly, I'm implementing, okay, this month I got these bad habits. I have to stop. So that scrolling online, being envious, I had to tell myself, sis, why are you being envious? Envious of what? You don't want to do that. Like when I told y'all earlier about those people that were changing clothes and you see them go like this and jumping, and that's not my superpower. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to do one good video. One video where I'm doing a bunch of transitions. One. Probably one every quarter. Because it's just something that I just don't want to do. I really just don't want to do it. So I'm being honest with myself, right? One of the bad habits I have to stop is I have to stop not being comfortable with going out of my house. Sometimes I don't like leaving my house. So a part of my self-reflections is bad habits I need to stop. Things I regretted not doing. Now, don't focus so much on, okay, I regret not doing this or whatever. No, make this real quick. Make this the quickest part of what you do. Because what happens is when we're doing our self-reflection, we focus so much on our regret that we don't get to move on to the third part, which is what we learned. We look at regret as failure, and regret is instantly just saying, I didn't get a chance to do it, or it didn't happen, or, this was where I can see a flaw in, you know what I'm saying? I can see my bad habits I need to stop, right? But I can say, okay, I regret that this bad habit got in the way, or I allowed this to happen. Then when you go to things that you learn, that's when you get to the part where you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to prevent this regret feeling. I'm going to prevent this guilt. As a mom, a lot of times I run into mom guilt and I ran into this a lot, mom guilt where I was like, I can't provide for my kids. Yes, they see their dad, but they look to me like, if he don't come through, I know she is. I know she got to. If I need shoes, I'm not asking him. I'm asking her. So I had a lot of regret in me where I was like, damn, I'm not able, I'm working this job. I was working at American Express and I made $39,000 I was making $18.42 an hour. I was like, oh my God, I'm working this good job. I got $39,000. Woohoo, yay. Then when I did my taxes and they took out childcare, which was $11,000, and healthcare, all of that together, I only brought home like maybe 11, I think 11 to $19,000. If that, I think it was leaning more towards the 11. The poverty level in Georgia is $12,000. I was below the poverty level. I did not qualify for food stamps. I was evicted from where I was living. And I was like, this don't make sense. But I still had to try and show up. And I felt so much regret and guilt and pressure that I put on myself. But what did I learn? I learned that I have to make more money. I've learned, that when you sit here and depend on other people to show up, sometimes they don't. So you have to have a backup plan, right? I've learned about myself so much. Even in October, when I made $6,000 in a month, I learned that $6,000 is not a lot of money. That's literally the minimum I need to make in order to pay all my debts off. That's it. But I know what profit looks like too. That means I would need to make at least an additional $4,000 to actually have a profit in what I'm doing. What did I learn? Your learning can be something personal to you. It can be your numbers. What did you learn about yourself going through this? What did you learn? Then I want you to go through and say, how can you be a better version of yourself? My goal in being a better version of myself is that I want to be more vulnerable and open. My son, he's very emotional and he cries. So sometimes when he cries, I'm like, you done? I'm that person. So I'm like, are you done? Are we done? So when I'm sitting here saying that, I want to work on connecting more with him. I mean, I believe that'll make me become a better person by saying that, right? It sounds crazy, but I'm being 100% real with myself. I want to be a better version of myself. And by being a better mom and being a better woman, that rolls over to me being a better business owner and being better in my relationship with God and being better with my relationship with my friends. By doing that and doing these self-reflections, every month I'm able to power to without feeling that lag of I missed out on something or I'm exclusively tired. So make sure you take time in order to do that. And all of these steps together, going through this workbook, and you can use this every single month. it will help you be able to go through the process of going valuable, not viral. I want you to go valuable. So let's go valuable and teach our audiences how to solve their problems utilizing ourselves, our services as a solution to those problems. There is a link in here where you can text me and connect with me. I want to thank you so much for listening to me today. My name is Cortesia Oxford, the branding architect. And I greatly appreciate y'all reaching out. Phone number is 404-390-2266. Hope y'all have an amazing day.